illustration. So I'm going to paint this snow globe with this angel. It's pretty complicated, but it's very pretty, and so I think it's appropriate for the season. So I'm going to do it in oil today, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to try to keep it simple, and the first thing that I'm going to do is mix up some paint before I even get up here. I'm going to paint on this board. I've already toned it a little bit, so we're going to just start out by mixing up some paint. All right, before we begin, I'm going to talk a little bit about the way I have my palette set up and the brushes that I'm going to use to do this kind of complicated little object. So first of all, I have titanium white, and I have it up here in the corner. This is the way I've always set up my palette. So I pretty much set it up exactly the same every time so that I kind of know where I'm headed. So I have titanium white, lemon yellow, Naples yellow, cad yellow medium, cad red light, alizarin crimson, raw sienna, burnt umber, and here I have a quinacridone red. And also over here I have phthalo green, which is a color I really like. Not all artists are really into the phthalos, but I super like them. I have ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and dioxide purple. I also have some more white set out because white is a color I know I'm going to use a lot of. And I'm using a glass palette. This is just a piece of glass that I've backed with some foam core, and it's held together with some duct tape. To begin with, I'm going to use just a couple of brushes, and I'm going to keep my brushes as large as I can for as long as I can. So right now I'm starting out with a number 7 flat and a number 2 round, which I'll do the drawing with. So the first thing that I'm going to do is mix up a little paint to do the drawing with, and I like to use a little bit of alizarin crimson. Oh, and I also wanted to say I have my paint kind of set out in these kind of long snakes rather than just a little blob, because then I can pull off clean bits of paint as I go along, and that keeps the paint a little more pure and easier to mix. So that's a nice mixture here of some burnt umber and alizarin crimson. And I'm going to use Gamsol to thin the paint and also to mix the paint with. So it's a good product. You want to use Gamsol. It's odorless mineral spirits rather than a turpentine type product. So I'm going to go ahead and just thin this out just a little bit, and I'm going to start my drawing. All right, so I'm going to actually make this snow globe larger than life. I want to fill this canvas pretty well with it. And it's fairly simple in a way. I mean, I've got a sphere and it's sitting on this kind of cylindrical base. The angel herself is kind of a triangle in the center of all that. Of course, we've got that pattern and some detail, but I am going to try to keep her pretty simple. So the first thing is I'm going to get this kind of base. Where do I want this base kind of sitting in here? And then it's got I'm going to think about the shape of it. I'm not going to get too freaked out by the complexity of it. And it would be easy to get freaked out by the complexity of it. The bottom part's not that great. That's all right. I've got the sphere in here, and it's got kind of a little. So I'm gonna come along and see, make sure I've got not digging what I did down here. So I'm actually gonna redo that. It's not that fun. So let's see, I'm going to just come along here a little bit. That's better. That's more what I want to do. Much, much better. And I think I need to get this a little bit rounder. It's kind of a true sphere sitting on here. And then she is, so there's a kind of top of this, and her head is right about there. So I'm gonna kind of come along and just get kind of a triangle shape in here. There's the bottom of her skirt, sits in there like that. And she's got these angel wings, kind of come in here. And her head's real small and delicate, and she's got her hands like so. And then little red jacket. And that's kind of her. And then I might come along before I get too involved. There are these sort of flower shapes right here, and then there's one here. A little center to them. And just draw these little designs. Just kind of. Again, I'm not going to get all worried about it. Can definitely come along and restate all these. I'm gonna think a little bit about how this is turning the corner a little. Coming around the edge of my shape. It comes along here. That's pretty good. Then I got the bottom of the space. Little cast shadow out here. Comes along here. All right, I like it. That's a good start. It's simple. Now I'm going to mix up some paint. I'm going to start out by mixing up some paint for both the background and the interior, the shape, the green and the red, and some different values for back here inside this sphere. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to mix up some paint. The easiest thing for me to start with is that green. It's a pretty easy emerald green phthalo. I'm going to try lemon green, see if that gets it close. I think I'm going to add a little bit of Naples yellow. Naples yellow is nice because it will lighten up a green but keep it a little on the warm side. I think I need some cad. I'm going to add some white. It's not quite it. I'm going to add a little bit more cad yellow to this. See what that does. Yeah, that's a little closer. Now I want a little bit darker value of this for the shadow side. So I'm just going to take some of it and mix it with some more phthalo. So that's good. I get a couple of versions of the green. Now, for the red of her dress, a little cad red and a little alizarin that's a little darker. Maybe I want to use some of this quinacridone violet in there. Something like that. That's pretty good. Now I want a lighter version of that too. And a little bit of white, quinacridone. And that's going to get me there, I think, pretty close. Maybe a little bit more white. I don't want it too pink, I want it red. I might have to adjust this one and make that one darker. All right, so that background is kind of a blue-gray. So, get some ultramarine. Since it's gray, I can use some of this white that's already contaminated with some of the other color. And some of this Naples. Yeah, that's kind of cool. This is nice gray. The Naples yellow is adding some, turning this blue a little bit gray, so it's a little bit green, so it's graying it. Being able to mix a variety of grays is really important in painting in oil. Subtle grays. Okay. So now I'm just getting a couple different values in here. All right. Now I want some, in that background there's also some pretty light areas, so I'm going to mix some, and warm. Again, use that Naples yellow. And Naples yellow, I really love using that to mix. Still a little gray, so I can use that contaminated white. But that's why I like these snakes, because I can just, of color rather than a blob, because I can really just get a little clean bit of color. All right, I think I have enough to get myself started here. Now I want to stay with as large a brush as I possibly can for as long as I can. So I'm going to be using this number 7 to start, and just get a little bit of Gamsol on it. And I'm going to come back in here and just get some value down in this. Just get this established. Yeah, that's cool. And it's pretty fun. And then on the other side of her. Really, something like this, it's this complex, it's just breaking it down into something that's simpler and easier to paint. And then you can always add complexity. It's the side of her. Okay. Get a little bit darker. So get out to the side of the globe here. Just a little. And maybe move it down a little bit. Just keep it painterly. All right. Down here too. Up here at the top. So now that I've got these kind of pots of color, I can add on to them, which I need to do to get everything that I need. But I kind of have something to start with, which is really great. You gotta start somewhere. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the base here. So this is the dark side, the shadow side of the green of the base. So I'm planning for those little gold design elements. Again, I'm keeping it pretty simple. I'm not putting every little bit in. Light side of this. I'm feeling I want to adjust this color a little bit. I want it a little bit warmer. As I'm getting in here, I feel like I want it a little warmer. That's better. It's not exactly the right color, but it's close. And again, I can always adjust that later too. But I really am hot to kind of establish the value of it. This is really fun to paint. It's, even though it's kind of complicated, it's super fun. Sometimes that it is complicated, it makes it more fun. All right. And I can go ahead now. I've got some area of her dress, right? I can come in and play around with what that is. Her dress has got this kind of folds. Her skirt, I guess. So as it comes back. Awesome. Gotta exaggerate. Really have to exaggerate because it's too close in value the way I have it. So in order to really get the difference in value, gotta really exaggerate these folds. All right. Right. I think I want to get some of the background in now. Because right now I can't tell too much about the value that I've got going until I get some of that background in. So I'm going to grab some of this that I mixed up right back here. So there's this little bit of these design elements here. And I think about what they kind of pop out. I pretty much paint with just in oil. I don't use a lot of medium. I don't add a lot of medium. I just pretty much am using the Gamsol and the paint. You know, if you like to add a little bit of linseed oil to make the paint flow a little bit more, it's a good thing. But I just try whatever I'm doing, whether it's working in pastel or oil, I just always try to keep everything pretty simple for myself. So that's kind of my thinking about it. And the other big key I feel like to painting is making sure you're using enough paint. Kind of a big mistake that I see is not using enough material, not using enough paint. And it's hard because you know, especially if you're just starting out, you're like, oh, you know, it's expensive stuff, and am I doing it right? And but oftentimes, if you're not using enough paint, you're not going to get the result that you want. Okay, so my sphere is a little off, but I'm not worried about it yet because I've got a lot of ways to go, and I'm going to have some opportunity to get it more round. It's fine. So add a little bit of the background color here, and right, and then I'm going to get that cast shadow going. Add a little bit more hue to it. See a little bit more color in it. Super fun. More color right on where the shadow meets the light. Always an opportunity to hit some color in there. Paint. I'm going to add a little glycerin. And right now I'm going to grab a little bit larger brush for that background. So this is actually number 10. Just kind of interesting to go for a little bit bigger brush. Just to get it in here. Now I want some color back here. So it's very similar to the color that's in the globe, right? And it would be because the globe is it's transparent. But it's gonna stand and bring a little bit. I see some color bouncing around back there, so it'd be good to get a little bit more playful with some of the color back in here. No reason not to. And as we get over to the other side, I'm going to lighten it up. So once we get this in, we have something to kind of work with. We can kind of see where we're at a lot better. I see a little bit of green back in there, bouncing around. That's fun. A little bit of this. Gotta be a little playful with it. If you don't, it just gets real stiff real fast. So I'm really simplifying this background. There's all these folds back there, but I'm just gonna keep it really simple. So that little bit of pink is kind of working for me a little bit that I used to tone the canvas, so that's nice. I think something like that's pretty good. Now I can play around with get a little more color and then just cast shadow. That's for fun. Now I can really play with the angel and the design. Okay. And let's see. I'm gonna get some of that gold edging in. That would be fun to do. But before that, I just want to put a little bit of this dark in here. Okay. Just to you could go further with that. A lot of times I just don't go far enough. I need to exaggerate what I'm doing a lot of times. Okay, that's better. All right, so I'm going to mix up something for that gold edge. And I'm going to start with raw sienna. I love raw sienna, and that's right in the ballpark I need. And some cad yellow. And then a little bit, see, so I'm just coming along, I'm mixing, as I'm mixing, I'm getting the different values that I need. Started out with the raw sienna, added a little cad yellow, and then some Naples yellow to get an even lighter version. So now I've got something to work with. And I can get up there. And I'm gonna stick with my flat for this. You know, and I'm not gonna go too small yet. As I go through here, I'm probably gonna wanna put some things in that are a little bit more detailed, I would say, but for right now, I'm still wanting to stay really nice and bold. Oh, I need something a little darker than that even. I want to stay nice and bold. So I don't want to get too carried away with any kind of detail. So I'm going to stick with this flat for a little bit. And I'm going to come along here. And as I come along to the shadow side, I'll need to change it. See that? It gets a little green. Comes on into the shadow. And that works pretty well. It's got a little highlight on it. All right. Now I am gonna switch to the round brush here. Get some of these. See, these are actually not facing the light, so that they are actually that darker green. So they're turning away from the light. So just get all the little bits that I can do. You know, I'm staying pretty loose. Number of years ago, I did a series of objects and did them in oil. And I did 30 objects. And I had my friends and family all choose what the objects would be. So I'd paint anything that they had in mind for me to paint. So it was really a cool challenge. And it was really, really good practice. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a little messy here. A little too green. Okay. Got to remember to keep the elements that are in shadow dark enough so that they appear as though they're in shadow. So nothing about them is going to be as light as what's in the light. Even though they're shiny and they have some reflection on them, we still want that to appear as though that's in the shadow. So that gets tricky. Definitely. Okay. Just keep going. Just a little bit at a time. Just a little bit at a time. Keeping it loose. There's all kinds of things on this to play with and to fiddle around with, and I certainly I can, how much I want to. So I'm getting the little folds in her coat. And see her. This is her arm. She's her. All right. I'm gonna come back down here a little bit. Let's see. I'm not super happy with the shape of her skirt here. Kind of, it goes up more. Has a little gesture to it, so I won't want to catch that. There we go. That's better. And I want to make sure I have that dress skirt in shadow over here, and I think it needs to be a little darker over here. The underside of it. More like that. Okay, that's not exactly what's going on, and but it gets the character of it, and that's what I'm most interested in. Not painting exactly this object, but getting the character of it. All right. Does it look like it's a globe? Does it look like it's glass? That kind of thing. All right, let's get those flowers in. So this one is definitely in shadow, so it's got to be darker. And this one, it's kind of half in half shadow, half light. They're kind of shiny. That kind of works. I want some there's a little cast shadow on these guys. That's nice. That really gives them dimension. And I don't need to paint every little bit. I just need to, again, get the character of it. You can see I'm still, using a fairly large brush, and that's just in an effort to stay loose, to stay painterly. The temptation with an object this complex is to get in there and little teeny brush and make it into a rendering. I don't want it to be a rendering. That's not my intent. I want it to be a painting. I'm going to come in here and get a little. But I am taking my time to, get a little bit of this detail in here. Otherwise, it wouldn't, wouldn't be the thing either. Okay. And my drawing isn't exact. It's okay too. All right, so we want centers of those little flowers, kind of these flat, that's all they are, little flat mark. And this one is in the shadow, so it's got to be, I think so. don't want to get too carried away with this because it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to have all that too much. Okay. It's kind of a fun Christmassy thing to paint. It's nice. All right. Okay. All right. Last. This little edge here at the bottom. Turn in the corner with it. And I'm going to get it dark underneath. Just hit it just a little darker. This will make a nice Christmas gift for somebody. I don't know who yet. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get up here in my little angel now. And I think I'm going to start out with her hair. It's kind of this reddish blonde. So I'm going to use some of that raw sienna and a little bit of cad. And I'm really going to keep everything simple. Her hair is just, it's a shape. And some of it's in the shadow and some of it's in the light. And it comes down along her face. And it goes around her shoulder, and it actually is coming up into the her little wings a little bit. And I see a teeny little bit of it over there. And that is it. So I want a light side to her hair because it's coming. There's a light side and then a little bit by her part. Get that. That's it. That's all I'm doing for her hair. Now her wings are kind of, to my eye, it's sort of a yellowy, greeny yellow. So, the lemon yellow is a nice place to start for that. Maybe a little phthalo in there. Not too much. Gotta be careful with this. Phthalos are super strong. Something like that for the shadow. And then there's something, mix something up for the light side. Keep that paint clean. It's just not going to work if you don't keep it clean. Not going to move. Make a little room. I like working on a big glass palette like this. It gives me plenty of space to mix. Okay. I'll keep my paint. See, I mixed it and then I made it into more of a pot so that I can dip my brush into it and really load up my brush. If I don't do that, if I just mix it and leave it flat, it's harder. See, now I've got a nice little place to really load my brush up. Okay, I've got her wings actually drawn a little bit bigger. And now I see I wanted this to be a little bit darker even. A little bluer, a little darker, a little greener. Yeah, let's try that. I've got her wings a little bit bigger in the drawing. But maybe I'll stick with that. Maybe that will be good. And then along the back side of the wings, it's a little darker even. See the value difference? See how dark I got? That's, you know, kind of surprising because her wings are kind of this white, but yet I had to go pretty dark to really get the quality of light that I'm wanting in them. Actually, on the back side, darker than the background here. They're popping out from the background. See that? Wing. I didn't really think that at first. And then up here, same thing. Pretty dark. Okay. And then up here, it goes up into this little sort of shape at the top of the snow globe. That's the snow globe there. And this is her wing. It's kind of funny to say that. Okay. All right. Now I want to get the light side of her wing. Actually, I need to get this a little bit darker in here. Just a little bit there. I'm going to bring her hair down just a little bit, her hair into that a little bit more. Okay. Now the light side of her wing. It's the lights, right there. So I'm really loading up my brush with thick paint. Those strokes, get the texture of her wing. It's kind of cool. And then on the other side. Good. Now, I have not been avoiding doing her face, but I have. So her face, it's this very, very, very light pink. So I'm going to do the shadow side first. So I'm mixing up some Naples yellow and some it's kind of violet. And I'm going to keep it super simple. I'm not going to try to get all those her little features in there. I'm not. I'm just going to try to get a light side and a shadow side. And we've got our hands, same thing. They're just a light side and a shadow side. Almost like one little mark, really. And I could go in there with a little bit smaller brush. I think I will. And this is a number 6 flat. And I'm going to get some clean paint to really get the really light side of her face. It's really kind of like, she's like a China doll. And I wanted to keep it cleaner than that. I kind of wanted it just to be one little mark. And I actually need the shadow side to be a little bit darker. A little bit darker. Okay, and try again. Try to get it one more time. And then if I can't, I'm just going to leave her be for a little bit and come back to it. And keep working. It's fine. Now she's got that teeny little wreath around her hands. And again, I'm thinking about there's a shadow side to it. And a light side, and that's it. Really, really simple. Wiping off my brush. Because again, I want the just sort of the feeling of it. That's nice. It kind of does it. Really simple strokes. See. Right. I think that kind of does that, gets the essence of what she is, without doing every little teeny little bit. I could play around with this and have fun with it for a long time, but I think I want to let it be what it is right now. Now I'm going to work on the snow globe a little bit more, and kind of reshaping some of the contours of her. And let's see, I can come along and play with the shape of the wings a little bit. That's nice. It's really fun to be able to do. I'm going to let some of that red edge happen though. I like it. And come in, restate some of that. It's neat. Now I want to say a little bit about that snow globe. What's going on with it? So on the outside, there's a little bit of a highlight here. And here, on this outer edge here, there's a I want to do it really simply. So that helps really get the sort of transparency of it. I like the little bit of that red. I don't think I want to keep too much of it, but I do kind of like it, and so I think I'll keep some of it. It's kind of cool. What else do I want to do in here? There's a lot that I could be playing around with. I definitely want to highlight on the globe. There's some other details in her that I could play around with. So, how far do I want to go with this? So that's where I'm at right now. I'm thinking a couple things. I want the underneath part of her skirt. I think that's nice. A little highlight right here. Playing around with that a little bit. that shape in there. Oh, I know what I want to do. I just want to clean up this other edge of her. Just help shape her a little bit more. And let's see what else would be fun to do. Oh, I see. A little bit of a cast shadow of her coat. A little bit more. And maybe a little bit that the light turns the corner. I always want to see if I can get where the light's turning the corner. It's always a good opportunity. It's hitting the top of this edge, see there? A little bit as it goes around. That's good. Now her little skirt has a little design on it, and do I want that on there? It's got a little gold design on it, and it might be nice to have it because it's that little gold design will talk about the light hitting it. So if I come along here like so. Yeah, see, that's nice because it really is talking about what's in the light and what's in the shadow as it goes across her skirt. And that's, yeah, that actually really adds quite a lot to it. I like that. A bit of dark under here. Just pulling out some of the darks. All right, so I'm just about feeling like I'm going to wrap this up. I probably might spend another half an hour playing around with some of these little details on my own, but you kind of get the idea, and I hope you enjoyed. Oh, wait a second. I can't stop now. I've got to put the highlights on the globe. I could save that for myself and not show you, but that wouldn't be very nice. That's the fun part. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to clean up a nice section of my palette. To do that, I might even get my scraper to really make sure I have a really good clean spot. And a nice clean bit of white paint. Use a little Naples yellow, a little cad yellow, and mix up something pretty bright, but then also a little pat of white. Now I don't want to go too nutso because there's definitely quite a few highlights here, but I'm thinking I want one right here, and I'm going to soften the edge of it, and then I'm going to come in and really, really get it white. Ooh, I'm going to work it a little bit. And then another one just down from it. Maybe I want it a little bit stronger. And I'm going to come in with I have a little softer brush. I kind of messed it up. There we go. So then I want another one up here. And I think I want something right here. And then I want something right here. Yep. Moving around. Yeah. And then along with that, just a little lighter in there. And I think that's it. I think that is just about it. I want to just clean up this drawing just a little. Make sure it comes all the way around. Okay, so that's my little holiday snow globe. I hope you enjoyed it. Give something like this a try. Don't be afraid of these little, really complicated things. It's just a matter of just breaking it down, making them as simple as you can make them, and just slowing down and seeing these shapes as simply as you possibly can. And I'm really trying to keep my painting simple by keeping my brush large, staying painterly, and just always seeing the major shapes. Remember, I started her and she was just a triangle sitting here on this base, and that's it. So which wasn't too bad in terms of difficulty. All right. Thanks for watching. Hi everyone, it's me, Marla Baguetta, in my studio, wanting to share a holiday greeting with you from myself and everyone at pastelpaintinglessons.com and oilpaintinglessons.com. We want to wish you peace, prosperity, and health, and creativity in every facet of your life, and of course, lots of art supplies in your stockings. Thank you so much for investing in yourself as an artist and for making 2017 an amazing, exciting year at pastelpaintinglessons.com. So, happy painting and happy holidays.